Welcome to Cornerstone Horsemanship. I'm Greta Cummings.
And I'm Sherry Dill Billings. And we're going to review today on snaffle bits. If you remember for our last Tuesday tip, we talked about how what makes a snaffle bit is the fact that the rein and the bridle are hooked to the same ring as the shinker.
Exactly. So this morning I ran around and I found all the different snaffle bits that I've got tucked away in all sorts of different corners at the farm here. And so, Sherry, let's just talk about these. What bit just really draws your eye, and what do you like about it?
The one that I use a lot is this one. And some of the reason is if I'm riding a green horse, I like to have the D ring. And then the miler gives this nice little curvature on their jaw, so it sits nicely on their jaw, and they work independently.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bits too. And you're right, it is a D ring, but this is what they call a Western D, because I've heard some people call it a C ring too, because it's kind of got that letter C look to it. This is what's known as a traditional D ring that has the actual D. That's where the name came from.
That makes sense.
And both of these bits are very similar. It's just a different style. Even like this one here, this is called an egg butt. I'm not sure why, but that's what we call it.
I've seen some of the egg butts that have real fat cheek pieces, and they're more smoother.
Are you talking the cheek piece or the mouthpiece is fat?
The cheek piece.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. And they kind of taper down to that smaller.
Yes.
And the inside, and you see a lot of dressage riders ride with that bit, and their reasoning for the fat cheek piece that tapers down is it's a bigger distribution of the pressure in the horse's mouth, and therefore it's a softer bit in their mouth.
And they keep constant pressure on it all the time, so that's why they like it? They
do and they don't, but it's just, they're thinking that they're being kind to that horse's mouth, which is a good thought to have. I mean, that's my exact same thought too. A lot of these bits out here are, I shouldn't say a lot, almost half these bits, I should say, are miler bits. And I've been trained by Dale Myler in his bitting system, which is just phenomenal. I mean, search him on YouTube, and he's got a wealth of information in bits. But he says that this mouthpiece here, this is what they work with, just your standard mouthpiece there, because it's not the bit itself, no matter which one you pick here, that makes a bit soft or harsh. It's the hands that are using it. And
which brings me to this one.
Yes!
The twisted snaffle takes a well-trained hand. And the reason why a lot of trainers use a twisted snaffle is because they want to teach the horse softness. And some trainers will actually use it as a working back and forth on that jaw to get the horse to soften. Which, to me, can you imagine? Put your finger on that, and I work it back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, you can
jaw.
see it, bumping across me there.
I think that we could probably teach the same thing with something smoother, but I guess you can do this quicker.
Well, let me be honest with you. I saw a horse this weekend with one of those in, and the guy was doing exactly that on his horse, trying to get that horse to be soft and back up, and all I saw that horse do was brace.
Yeah.
And, I mean, my goal in training my horses it's like the debates here with the fly.
Sorry. Me and Mike Pence have something in common.
And he rides horses.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but my goal in my horses is to get them to back up. I want to do it in my body. And my little 3-year-old has picked up on that. Horse, not kid. Horse. Little 3-year-old horse has picked up on that, and that's my goal. Not that I have to pick up and pull on them, but that I don't have to pick up on the bit at all to get them to know what I want.
So you're saying basically the snaffle bit is kind of our first step in training.
Yeah, Yeah, that's been tradition for a long time. You're not adding any extra pressure with a curb bit on that young horse's mouth. I have to say though, I actually have a more favorite bit to start a horse in that's never been bitted before, and that's the combo bit.
Combo bit. Well, that sounds like another show.
I think that is another show. So thanks for being with us today, and I hope you learned a little more about snaffle bits and our thoughts on them, and hope you join us next week for the combo bit. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you.
And the horses you ride,
From our barn to yours.
Horses fly! Yes! I about said Biden.